So when you plug your Arduino in, right out of the box, some of you have said, I don't know, it's not working. And the thing is, how do you know it's not working if you never sent it any code? So I'm going to plug it in. You see something happens. You get a green power light, power indicator, and we got our blinking 13 over here. Now we're going to go to our Arduino editor over here. And first thing you need to do is select your port. On a Mac, it's going to be something that looks like this, USB serial and a bunch of letters and things. On a PC, it'll probably say COM something. Something that is not COM1. Question, Fitzer? Just go, man. So you select it, and then you'll notice down here in the corner, Arduino / Genuino Uno on / deb, blah, blah, blah. So that should tell you the right COM port. Next thing you want to do is open the sketch. Since we're working with the SparkFun kit, oh, looks like I never loaded the SparkFun kit on my own. Well, I'm going to load up the built-in blink code, which is very similar to SparkFun kit's very first code. And we have a bunch of comments here, and then we'll go down to the setup section and the loop section. There's a way to make this text a little bigger for you. Let me see if I can figure that out. Preferences. And let's go something like 20. Much better. Okay, so now we can see quite a bit of code here. Can you read that okay? Now I'm going to modify some things. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of this LED built in. I'm going to put the number 13, 13, and 13. And I'm going to click Upload and look at our camera. And at this point, you should see a series of flashes of the built-in LEDs. And they simulate, or they suggest that there's some kind of a transmission happening. Now right away, we see that the built-in pin 13 light is blinking. And if I modify the amount of delay, let's put 250 instead of 1,000. Once again, the upload lights, and now it blinks faster. Let's make it 3,000. Upload, transmit lights, and now it blinks much slower. Much slower. I'm going to let it blink faster just because it's better for demonstration's sake. And in fact, what I'm going to do is have it stay on for 0.4 of a second, 400 milliseconds, and then go off for 0.2 of a second. So it's going to give us a different pattern, where it's going to be on slightly longer than off. Okay, at this point we want to start wiring it. Now, generally you should never wire your Arduino while power is going through it, but I'll give you a pass for this particular case. You can do it for the very first circuit. It's not going to do any damage. So remember the concept of a circuit. A circuit is a loop or a continuous path of electricity. Now what we want to do is we want to find pin 13, which is right about here, and we want to send a wire from pin 13 to basically anywhere on the board. I happen to be putting mine in J20. It doesn't matter which one you put yours in. And remember that J20 is connected to I20, which is connected to H20, which is connected to G20, which is connected to F20. So these 5 pins are all connected underneath the breadboard. So from there, I want to go through a resistor. I'm going to plug this resistor, and in this case, it could be anyone in the row, and if you put it in a different row, it can be anyone in a different row. But we're going to connect it to, in mine, it's going to be H20 to H18. So what I'm doing is I'm connecting this horizontal stripe with this horizontal stripe. Now, it's a little hard to see in the projection, but you should be able to tell that they're in different stripes. Any questions on that at this point? So essentially, our red wire is now connected to this leg of our resistor. They're touching. They're touching through the wires underneath the breadboard. Now I'm going to take an LED, and your LED is going to have a long leg and a short leg. We'll learn about those in the future. One's called the anode and one is called the cathode. We're going to take the long leg and make sure it touches the other leg of our resistor. So in my case, I'm going to put it in I18. And the short leg is going to go into I16. So once again, we have connecting, I'm making a bit of a bridge and connecting one stripe to another. Finally, to complete my circuit, to complete the loop, I'm going to connect this J16 to a ground on my Arduino. It doesn't matter which ground, as long as I get it in one of the grounds. If you did this correctly, you should have these two LEDs blinking in sync. If they are alternating, you made a mistake. So now any modifications I make to my code will be reflected in my LED. So let's say I want to make a more complicated pattern of blinks. Well, high turns the LED on and low turns the LED off. So let me do some copying and pasting and some modifying of numbers. So I'm going to have it high for 200 milliseconds, low for 300 milliseconds, high for 200 milliseconds, low for 1 full second, and then repeat, because it's a loop. It goes over and over and over again. Blink, blink, wait. Blink, blink, wait. Blink, blink, wait. Blink, blink, wait. So you can modify the digital rights, sending signals to pin 13, and we're sending either a high signal or a low signal. And in between the rights, I do a delay. And then I can modify the pattern of blinks. Now, if you're astute, you'll realize, hey, if I can do this for pin 13, I can do it for any pin. And you're right. So we're going to take another 330 ohm resistor. We're going to take another LED. And this is just me kind of demonstrating a concept, not necessarily doing a project here. And then 2 more wires. Any color. The color of the wire is just the plastic coating. It doesn't change anything about the wire. And this time I'll plug it in completely at random. Let's pick number, what pin is this? Number 10. Doesn't matter which one. And just to do it in a separate area, I'll plug it in way down here. Get my resistor. Get my LED. Making sure to go from the long leg to the short leg, anode to cathode, and then again with the ground. Now, we're kind of running out of grounds here. I guess there are 3 on the board, and we're not out yet, but it's a good idea to have a common ground on your breadboard. So, I'm going to take the black out of the end of that pin and plug it into the stripe with the minus. And now I can plug anything into that stripe with a minus, and it will be connected to the ground. Because ground is ground. All grounds are created equal. So I have a common ground. Finally, what's left is to write some code to control what this red LED does. So it would be very easy to just paste and change these to 10s. This red LED is not as bright as the blue one. I'll pick a different LED, a little bit brighter. Let's see if I can get this yellow LED, or maybe a green LED. Not sure why the red one's not too bright. Oh. No, why is that not being brighter? Not sure what's up with that. Oh, right. So this is an interesting situation, and I'm glad it happened. The problem's actually not with the LED itself. The problem's in my setup, because I set pin 13 for output mode, but I neglected to set pin 10 also to output mode. Now when I do that, click upload, watch the blinky lights, you can see a much brighter LED. And now when I go back to my red LED, it should be just as satisfying. And you can, of course, intersperse them. You could have one go on, one go off, one go on, one go off. They don't have to be alternating in that particular fashion. And that's that. Any questions? Yes? Any questions about this demonstration? Any questions about this demonstration? Anything I'm doing? Yes? I'm sorry, when I have a delay for what? Yes, 1,000 is 1 second. Yeah. So for your delay, we got to change that to like 3 seconds. Guys, this room eats voices, so I appreciate the lack of chatter until the demonstration's through, because it's really hard to hear the question. Okay, if he's closer to you than he is to me, you might hear him really well. Well, I'm not sure what you're asking. You change the delay based on how you want to delay. Now, it's very silly in these two lines to have a 200 and then a 300. I just copied and pasted with reckless abandon. But is that what you're asking about? Yeah, it would have the same effect if we had one delay for 500. There's no reason to have a delay for 200 and then a delay for, that would have no change. Yeah?
When it says delay, does that delay how long it stays on or how long it stays off?
Yeah, so the question is, does it delay how long it stays on or how long it stays off? What's the answer? Both. The answer is it depends where you put it. The concept of sequence. So if I turn pin 13 to high, that means the light goes on. Then I wait 2 milliseconds. Then I turn pin 13 to low. And then immediately, in such a fraction of a second that no human can perceive it, I'm turning pin 10 to high. Then I wait a half a second. So it's just you follow the sequence. Any other questions?